Hey, good morning, Norm. How are you?
Jim, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate your time, and obviously, this is great. We get a chance to really educate our players and their families on the recruiting process, and give them insight into what it requires to play at the next level. So this is very much appreciated. And just tell real quick about yourself. Obviously, Norm Riker, head coach, head women's soccer coach at Conn College, which is located down in New London, Connecticut, right along the Thames, the famous Thames. Your hometown is Block Island, which is quite unique. I think you're the first person I've ever met that actually is from Block Island, so that's quite unique, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Just a little background, your coaching experience. Obviously, you've got extensive resume here, and it's obviously why you've achieved the things you've achieved and where you've gone to. You've been the Conn College coach from 2011 to the present. You've been at Wittenberg, Vassar, as well as you've also been honored with being the Great Lakes Regional Coach of the Year, New England Regional Coach of the Year, as well as the NASCAC Coach of the Year, and then um, 8 NCAA appearances. Your most recent one in 2022, which is fantastic. Just everything you've done with the program. Congrats on all that. That's quite impressive. Everything you've done and accomplished. But what I really love to know right now is tell us a little bit about your background in soccer. Why soccer? What brought you to the game?
Wow. Just really quick, it was 2021, but just so you
Oh,
have it
okay.
correct. It's okay. So you have
Okay.
it correct. I want to make sure
All right.
everything's transparent and on the up and up.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, well, first, Jim, thanks for having me on. Wow, soccer background. So I was very fortunate. I grew up in a small community on Block Island, which is just I feel it's very fortunate and lucky to have had the people in my life that I've had. But in Block Island, you couldn't do anything without everybody. So when you're playing pickup footy, with George Mott, who's 18 years old, and Norm Riker, who's 6 years old or 7 years old, and it wasn't about boys and girls. You needed Corey, Heidi, and Tracy and Zena to do anything. So it was always about the community and playing the game. And we'd play all kinds of games, but I remember just playing pickup on the island with older, bigger, faster, stronger people, and just being kind of in awe of what they were doing. And very, I have an older sister who lived over in Stonington, so I would go and stay in her house and play in the Stonington Como on the weekends, and that's really where kind of I guess my soccer career started to blossom and take off, and that was just a great experience. And it's so kind of really unique to kind of have traveled kind of this full circle of life of um, to be back at Connecticut College. It was the first camp I ever went to, um, 15 minutes from Stonington, and
Right.
as the crow flies, 20 miles from Block Island. So, but obviously we all have countless people to thank in our lives, but just being able to have that community in Block Island and my sister's, mentoring and vision to say let's get Norm off Block Island and get him the soccer team to play on, and kind of that started it. So that's kind of where it started. Soccer is my first love. I also had a lacrosse background as well, and but soccer was the first love, and I think the first real moment of passion and joy was I remember watching Italy win the '82 World Cup with the Leone family on Block Island, who owns Aldo's, and I always remember that the guy who scored it running off like this, and it just stuck
Yeah.
with me. And so here I am at
Yeah.
53, still feeling that same passion.
No, that's great. I think it's a great story. I think we're both the same age, and we both grew up in that time where you would go out and play pickup soccer before you went to soccer practice. That was always the fun part. You looked forward to playing all the time till the street lights came on, as everyone talks about. And now that's a great story. And hopefully our players, when they get older, when they start coaching, they can share their background as well. So thanks very much for that. So just get into it. Talking a little bit about Conn College. Again, it's along the Thames River in New London. Plays in the NASCAC, which is the New England Small College Athletic Conference. And when you think about that conference, I look it up and the definitions popped out at me. It was schools are known for their rigorous liberal arts programs, and anyone that knows the NASCAC, there's two conferences in the country that really stand out as far as academics, and that's Ivy Leagues and the NASCAC. Obviously D1 to D3, both very rigorous academic programs. And then obviously here are some of the majors and minors that are offered at Conn College, as well as the population is just around 1,800 undergraduate students. And student to teacher ratio is 9 students to every teacher, and then housing on campus plus apartment style upperclassmen housing. So Norm, tell us a little bit more about Conn College. This is an opportunity for you to give us some insight.
Jim, first of all, great job. You're spot on with everything so far. One of the things about Connecticut College that makes it really special is one, yeah, we are part of the NESCAC, which is just a great collection of high academic schools, but also great athletic talents as well. So each week you're playing some of the best teams in the country, on your campus or traveling to beautiful campuses and competing at a really, really high level. But to be able to have the balance between your passion for football, but also to be able to, pursue any academic interest you have, double majors. We have 6 of our 8 rising seniors are going abroad, 1 to Chile, 1 to Italy, and 4 to London. And to be able to have that experience and play the beautiful game is kind of why you select a Connecticut College. Also, we're between Boston and New York City, as you know, and the job opportunities, the opportunities and the companies and the businesses and the CEOs and the writers and playwrights and musicians that come through Connecticut College to inspire not only our students, but to provide opportunities for the career after Conn, really makes Connecticut College a special place. I always talk about it. It's 3 S's: schools, social, and soccer. And to be able to do all both really makes it a difference. We have players on our campus that are club leaders, debate teams. They play in, they only play on the team as well, but they're in a cappella groups. They're doing all kinds of different things to inspire and to encourage that student athlete experience. But you said it. One of the things that makes the soccer player at Connecticut College so important is we talk about you get to and you want to. We don't want to think about having to do something. You get to and you want to, and you get to bring your energy, attitude, and effort to everything that you do. And we talk about that. When you come down to the gym, you're there to lift weights and get better and push your teammates. And when you get out on the pitch, you're there to perform, get better, and enjoy that moment with your teammates. And when you go to class, be in class. And when you're social, enjoy your friends and be a leader on campus.
Yeah, I talk to my players all the time about, you can only control so many things in your life, but your work rate and your attitude are 2 of the things that you can really control. And obviously, we share the same views on that. Because really, soccer is supposed to be your release from a bad day, a bad test, a bad exam, whatever it may be. And I can speak firsthand about Conn College. I've been down there. One of my former players is currently playing for you, Morgan Plus. So I got a chance to see Morgan play. I've been down there 3 or 4 times this season, and just seeing the campus and being around the campus. It's a gorgeous campus and a great location along the Thames. And seeing Morgan play, it's just so much fun to see somebody I coached from the time she was 13 to seeing how far she's come and really enjoying her whole experience there. So I'm glad to hear she's doing well.
Yeah, it's funny, Jim. You bring that up, and it makes me think about the first time we met. I think it was down in Castle, down in North Carolina, and I was still at Wittenberg, and and then here we are now talking about our journey kind of through the game. But I remember talking to you about Morgan and to have her playing for us and doing a great job. She doesn't leave the field, and she's kind of our engine in the midfield. And
yeah,
it's just what's great about it is knowing the background that you have and that we have together. Kind of where people are going to be successful, and what we need. So it's kind of really nice to have that journey together and to see kind of someone like Morgan do so well at Connecticut College and have a great experience that she's having.
Yeah, no, I appreciate everything you've done for Morgan, and obviously I appreciate our friendship, and I think it's something we'll continue to do and hopefully help each other. So, recruitment process. So just talking about first thing I'd like to remind everybody, obviously, there's a lot of misconceptions out there about the difference in the levels between D1, D2, and D3. A lot of people define it in their minds as that's the level of soccer, and that's not true at all. It has a lot of differences, but mostly it's more about the size of the school, the athletic funding, and the number of varsity sports, athletic scholarships between D1, D2, and D3, as well as the academic focus being more D3 driven. And these are just some of the top requirements for the differences in the levels. Just so people understand that, I've seen Connecticut College play. I've seen a lot of Division I games, and I can tell you the con colleges of the world can compete at a Division I level and be successful. And that's what a lot of people don't really understand. I think you said it earlier, it's more about the quality of life for your student athletes. It's the opportunity for them to go and enjoy, school, social, and soccer. And it's a good balance for those players that really want to still continue to compete at a good level. And so I always like to educate them a little bit on the difference in the levels. Is there anything there that I missed out on, Norm?
No, first of all, it's really important because I think we always say, oh, why don't you play at a higher level? And look, I am all about the higher level. If let's keep it in New England. If the University of New Hampshire is going to call Quinnipiac, Fairfield, I have friends I'm friends in all those places, UVM, and they're saying, come in here and make a difference for us. Go, go make a difference. Southern Connecticut, Franklin Pierce, Assumption, go. I know players in all those programs, and they're all having good experiences. But what I also talk about is make sure that you're playing Division I, not watching Division I.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of times we get caught up in that as young adults, trying to figure out what's important, and also the families do too. And I think one of the things that happens is people aren't always willing to go through the whole complete process at Division III, and I believe that that's where sometimes a lot of people get stuck watching as opposed to playing. If you go through the Division III process, you realize, wow, I can actually afford this place. Wow, I can be a double major. Wow, I can go study abroad in the spring of my junior year. Oh, I can be on the debate club. I can sing a cappella and also play the sport I love and actually play.
right.
And I think that that's where we get caught up in kind of what's important and what level we're at and why we're doing it. We trust me, when my player, and actually I think you might even know her too, but Alexa Trebelli, from Rhode Island, from LaSalle Academy.
Okay.
This is long ago, but she had all kinds of Division I and Division II opportunities. And when was a fifth taker in the NESCAC championship for the penalties, as she's walking up to this penalty spot to take that fifth penalty, she's not saying, "Oh, I could have played a Division I." No, this is her moment. Like she's about to go to the
Yeah.
national tournament and win her college's first NESCAC championship. And like that's why you choose a Division III school, is
Yeah.
because it's the best of all three worlds. You can really get the fulfillment of the Division III student athlete experience. And when
Yeah.
I say that, the other thing that makes Connecticut College unique is we play right in our green. We play in the heart of our campus on Saturdays,
Hmm.
and then we also have our turf field down at the athletic center. So we have kind of a couple of different opportunities. But playing on your green in front of your friends and family is a special, unique thing. And the other thing about it is we don't have American football. So Connecticut College, as a female student athlete, you are a centerpiece. Everyone is watching you on a Saturday. When you go to the training room, you don't have to wait behind 100 football players to get your ankle taped. You don't have
Hmm.
to go to the weight room and wait your turn on the bench. Like, you're it, and that's
Yeah.
a pretty unique
Yeah.
thing for a female athlete to consider and to think about, because we talk about how the 4 years here at Connecticut College can enhance and give you the next 40 and beyond. And when you're having those type of experiences, it allows you to be able to tackle all kinds of challenges, that you're going to face in the working world and later on in your life.
Yeah, it's perfectly said because I look at a talent like is it Maya Johnson?
Lion Johnson, yeah, yeah.
I watched Maya play this year, senior captain, and she is absolutely a D1 talent. But when you speak to her, you speak to Morgan, you see the smiles on their face. They just enjoy what they're doing. They're loving what they're doing, and you can tell like they really have excelled playing Division 3 soccer. And I talk to players all the time about what is your priority when you play soccer at the next level. Is it playing, or is it contributing, or is it, you know, is it waiting your turn? And that's something you have to weigh out. It's If you go play at the Division 1 level, yeah, you have an opportunity to play, but when will that come? And that's what you have to weigh out, because if you've always been the starter in your team, whether club, high school, whatever, that's something that probably you've got to learn to deal with. Is going to be different when you go to play Division 1, even a Division 3 program. There's no guarantees that you're going to come in and make an immediate impact. I've seen players go in and have been starters and come in a good Division 3 program, and they're not able to contribute right away, or they contribute a little bit and they have to wait their turn. So it's just one of those things. They have to make sure they understand the difference when you get to that level, what is important to you. So those are things that we talk about, and that's great to hear that, the reinforcement um, from you as well.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, Jim, I'll just quickly
No,
just I'll just spin maybe maybe more of the personal side of this. Yeah, I've been Division 3 coach my entire career because I believe in that balance. Look, we we all want to win. I'm
yeah,
not saying we're not. No one goes into a game saying how do we not have fun and lose this thing. We're all trying to give our best every day, all the time. But there's a balance that we strike, and there's an understanding that comes with this, and it's all connected. If you're not doing well in school, you're going to struggle on the pitch. If you're not having a good relationship with your teammates or your head coach, it's going to impact you not only on the pitch but in the dorm and on campus. And we work really hard for that team culture and for that understanding about what we're trying to do, and understand the balance that happens. And to be I have history on my side, but I have experience on my side, and I also have two college age daughters that have gone through the process as well. So I see it from a lot of different angles, and I know how important it is to get the balance right and to get the fit right. Look, I'm not going to convince anybody to come here and play Connecticut College. I can't convince you to play. You have to want to play. You got to want to be here, and that's why we talk to our people and our recruits about how important it is just to get on campus. When any campus you visit, any step you take in this process, it doesn't become real until you step on that campus. But for us, I think we make it real because we have experience to provide, and I think that's what makes Connecticut College and our program unique.
yeah. It's funny. Coaching's changed so much, because coaching today, somebody once shared with me that coaching's not just purely coaching. It's part psychology. You have to know your players. You have to read your players and connect with your players. And I don't think that has ever screened more than, with today's generation. I think that's so important that you really read your team, read your players, and know what they're going through, or try to see what they're going through, and make sure that you understand that. So that's all important. And that's obviously, I think, the biggest thing with D3 is you get that personal feel as well. There's that connection. Tell us a little bit about the D3 recruiting rules. What are some of the things that obviously you as a coach have to be aware of, and the players have to be aware of?
Sure. So it's interesting. So actually, we don't have that many restrictions. We can start recruiting you
Mhm.
um, when you start high school, but
Yep.
the timeline is so much different. You wouldn't, because you're not going to be able to get an academic pre-read. You're not going to be able to get a financial pre-read until pretty much July 1st after your junior year. Now I can do some things ahead of time by looking at grades and transcripts and knowing what we need in our team to get us really close as you're kind of a junior. Um, but we're not making that decision with a family until really after July 1st, as they go into their senior year. Um,
Yeah.
so that is those standards are pretty consistent with Division 3. Where obviously Division II and Division I, you might get someone who's signing as a sophomore or a freshman, but for us, but they can't talk on the phone. I don't even know
Yeah.
all the restrictions there, but I just think it's a process. We will certainly talk to or kind of get information on a freshman or a sophomore, but really in Division III, it doesn't really start to pick up until that junior year because of the timeline I just mentioned.
Yep.
But we're happy to talk to younger players and have them come visit campus and have them come to our camps and get a sense of what our philosophies are like and what our coaching voices are like. But it's a process that you have to understand the timeline with, and you're not really going to get financial information and academic information until the summer going into your senior year. Now,
So no,
that being
so
said, go ahead.
no, sorry. Go on. Finish your thought.
And so the other thing on that is we don't give athletic scholarships. So there's not a Division III school in the country that can say, "Oh, you're a great soccer player. Here's your soccer scholarship." But, and I think sometimes the young player and or the family, potentially sometimes their ego as well, that turns them off. Where we might be able to give you a ton of financial aid because your family needs it, or we might be able to give you a lot of merit money because you've earned it academically. So I always say to our families and our recruits, you're going to get a lot more money from your books than you ever will your boots. So, but if you have to go through the process of Division III to make that happen.
So just to be clear, Norm, so for our families, if a player sees you on the sidelines at this weekend's showcase, and they want to come introduce themselves, there's an opportunity to do that, correct?
So I'm part of the NESCAC is what we have a few more restrictions than most of Division III. When
Okay.
you get released from your team's game, as a senior, I can talk to you. As a
Okay.
junior or a sophomore, I'm going to be polite. I can
Yeah.
say, "Hey, hi, how are you?" But
Yep.
you want to know more? Come to campus.
Okay.
Or we can pick up a phone or get on Zoom. But I can't hash it out with you on the sideline at the surf
Sure.
showcase.
Gotcha.
But I think there's a balance between being polite and having a
Yeah.
common
Yeah.
hello, but we're not really going to break it down on the touchline.
Yeah.
But
No.
example, I'm going to a tournament this weekend, and there's a senior there that I can talk to when
Mhm.
her game is released, and that is Division III. Has those opportunities.
Yeah. No, just making sure because after this video is released, you're going to be a rock star on the sideline. You know that, Norm, right? So, so now, just what is your recruiting calendar? What events, tournaments do you try to attend? How do you feel about the video services that are out there, as well as some of the recruiting services that are out there?
Good question. One, I think that the modern day high schooler can do a lot on his or her phone and or laptop than any of these recruiting services can do. No offense to anybody. And just what you're doing. I mean, look what you're doing for your club. I mean, this is
Right.
major advantage that you're providing for your players. But so tournaments and events, what you have we as a college coach want to see you play live because it helps us. It paints another layer to everything. We want to have you get on our campus.
Yep.
We need to get you on the campus because that's an important piece too. But the videos are really important because it's a first glimpse into potentially an interest.
Yep.
So I think every player out there should have a video anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And the coaches are really finicky and picky about this. I
Yeah.
say put music on it, show your highlights, have fun. Like don't be stressed about this. Just
Right.
show us what you do. And know that there's going to be a college visit. We're going to want to see you play live. We might
Yeah.
encourage you to come to our clinics or camps, but it's a great way to start it. The recruiting services, I will certainly, I think you never know who sends you an email. You never know who knocks on your door. So I think it's my job as a college coach and a professional and a parent to try to respond to those emails.
Yeah.
Anyone that I get. It might take a while, but I try. Um,
Right.
events, some of the best players that ever played for me at Connecticut College came came out of our local area. So
Yeah.
I go to high school games. I'm involved in our local club at Southeast, um, and you get that. Yet one of the best players I ever had, I watched on film. So it's all it's not one thing, but it's kind of a an understanding that, again, it it may start from going to a great event and seeing you, but we kind of close the deal when you get on campus and you're like, wow, I like this place, you know.
Right. Sure.
So it's a process, and I think that
Yeah.
there's not one right step to take, or first step to take, but um, I guess I take that back. I mean, you want to send an email. It's general email
Yeah.
that's out there. And I think the other thing is, I think that we're both coming from populations and club sizes that understand. Yes, you might get a coach that comes there and says, "Wow, let's sign this player, let's get this player here." But a lot of it comes from your players, and doing the work, emailing the coach,
Yeah.
reaching out to the programs, and just starting a communication thread through emails first, and then kind of following up on visits and camps and everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a two-way street.
Yeah, we did a video last week how to prepare for upcoming showcases with emails and what you should say, and then I also did a video this past week of follow up, how to follow up with the coach now that they've hopefully seen you play. So that's part of the process. Those are all the things that we try to educate our players on, and I tell players all the time, video is a good way to start a relationship with the general email and the video attached, so they get an idea of kind of an idea, but they're never going to make the very rarely will they make a decision based on a video. They're going to want to see you live, and it's always helpful, never can hurt you. So
Mhm.
and
One quick thing, the one thing I will say
sure.
for our year, this might help you, and maybe you'd already do it. Have each player in their signature line just put in club, email, phone number, graduation year, jersey number.
Sure.
Just have it
Yeah.
there, so they don't have to
Yeah.
remember it.
Yeah.
And look, I'll be honest too. Look, I all you need is, hey, this is Sally from Situate,
Yeah.
and I'm interested in Connecticut College because I like biology, or I like
Yeah.
psychology.
Yeah.
I'm playing this weekend, come by. And
Yeah.
even if I might not be somewhere, it's okay to still send the email. Hey, we're playing this weekend. If you get
Hmm.
a chance, we're doing this. If not, let's maybe we follow up next week, and be persistent, because it just takes we get
I mean,
inundated.
you're making
And
me sound like a genius. I've done. You can't imagine how much we speak in the same language, and everything I've emphasized, from the signature, a template signature with all that information, as well as being persistent, staying in the frontal lobe of college coaches, because the more you can get your name in their head, the more they're going to want to see you and evaluate you. So, no, that's great. That's great information. Tell us a little bit about you when you go recruiting. What are the general qualities you look for in a player when you go recruiting? Obviously, I know it's different from goalkeeper to defender to midfielder to forward. Even within those little pockets, there's still more dimensions that you're looking for in each area.
sure. There's a lot to touch on. I think a couple of things that I
Yeah,
actually like going early and seeing what the warm ups like, seeing what the interaction is with coaches and players and teammates. And and I'll say this: put your phone down. How often are they on it? Is it in the bag and gone away? So you're
yeah,
present. Be present. The other thing I like to do is listen as they're warming up to go in. Are they watching the game? Are they focused on what's going on? Or are they, so those things all tell really, really important um you know parts about the player's character.
yeah,
Obviously, also, we don't go to a coaches. I don't go to the game. Oh no, the club team's losing 3-0. I'm going away. No, actually, that might be the best time to watch a game. What is this
yeah,
player like? How is she performing? What kind of teammate is she? Is she still working hard, even though maybe the game's a little out of reach? All those things matter. And then, habits. I'm a habits guy. Furthest foot, taking a
yeah,
peek, trying to pick your head up. All those things matter. And then I want to say the other thing is, we talked this weekend, and there was a parent ranting and raving and throwing her toys out of the crib at a game we were watching. And I basically was like, oh, we're not recruiting that family.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yep.
so mom and dad, be careful out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say that's an important piece as well.
Yep.
And trust me, at the end of the day, I also want the entire family to come on a visit, because it's really important that they get to hear my philosophy and ideas, and we also get to see them. So players, be nice to your parents. Um,
That's
and
a great point.
and